What if I told you that the single most potent elixir for boosting your immunity and transforming your gut health costs less than your daily latte and might already be sitting in your refrigerator? No, this isn't some pricey new trending supplement. We're talking about humble sauerkraut. Most people see it as just a simple dinner-side dish, but behind this simplicity lies an ancient superfood, valued for centuries for its incredible properties. In this video, we're going to unlock all the secrets of fermented cabbage. You'll discover why researchers and doctors are increasingly touting it as a fundamental key to wellness, how it can effectively reprogram your gut, and help make your immune system truly bulletproof. Get ready. By the end of this presentation, you will look at that modest jar in your fridge with entirely new eyes. The main question we're asking today is this: can this simple, fermented food truly change your life for the better? Let's dive in. But before we dive into the hard science, let's take a quick trip back in time. Do you think sauerkraut is strictly a German or perhaps Eastern European invention? Think again. Historians suggest that the first people to ferment cabbage were actually the laborers building the Great Wall of China over 2,000 years ago. They fermented it in rice wine, primarily as a way to preserve a vital food source through the long, harsh winters. This method eventually found its way to Europe via nomadic tribes. However, sauerkraut achieved true global fame during the Age of Exploration. The famous Captain James Cook, for example, took a massive 60 barrels of sauerkraut on his epic voyages around the globe. And he didn't do this just for taste. Sauerkraut was the secret weapon that saved his crew from scurvy, the dreaded disease caused by vitamin C deficiency. While sailors on other vessels were falling ill en masse, Cook's men, sustained by the cabbage, remained remarkably healthy. Thus, long before the scientific discovery of vitamins, humanity had intuitively found a way to safeguard health through one simple, brilliant process: fermentation. So, what exactly is fermentation, and how does it manage to transform plain old cabbage into a true superfood? Think of it as a low-key magical process that mostly happens behind the scenes. When we shred the cabbage, add salt, and pack it tightly into a jar, we are setting the stage for microscopic life. Specifically, we're talking about beneficial bacteria like lactobacilli, often called lactic acid bacteria. These beneficial microbes then begin actively feasting on the natural sugars found within the cabbage. As a result of this feasting process, they release lactic acid. This acid acts as a powerful natural preservative. It suppresses the growth of harmful bacteria and mold, while simultaneously giving the cabbage its characteristic tangy flavor and aroma. But here is the key. This process does much more than just preserve the food. It dramatically enriches it, synthesizing new beneficial compounds that were absent in the original raw ingredients. Essentially, fermentation is a form of pre-digestion carried out by these helpful bacteria, making the resulting food significantly more nutritious and much easier for our bodies to absorb. It truly is alchemy, right there in your kitchen. Let's settle the debate. Which is healthier, fresh cabbage or sauerkraut? Fresh cabbage is undoubtedly a wonderful food. It's packed with fiber, vitamin C and K, and powerful antioxidants. However, the fermentation process takes that inherent goodness and elevates it to a whole new level. First, As we've discussed, fermentation introduces probiotics, live, beneficial bacteria that are simply absent in the raw vegetable. Second, the bioavailability of nutrients sharply increases. These bacteria break down complex compounds during their activity, effectively pre-digesting the food and making vitamins and minerals far easier for our body to absorb. For instance, some research suggests that the iron found in sauerkraut is absorbed more efficiently. Furthermore, fermentation helps to break down compounds known as goitrogens, substances that, in high amounts, could potentially interfere with thyroid function. Ultimately, sauerkraut doesn't just retain the benefits of fresh cabbage. It multiplies them, adding unique components that truly establish it as a functional superfood. Now let's talk about the true powerhouse behind sauerkraut, its incredible probiotic content. When we hear the word probiotics, most of us immediately think of commercial yogurt or costly supplements. But when it comes to gut health, sauerkraut is the true heavyweight champion. Just one serving of properly prepared, unpasteurized sauerkraut can deliver billions, even trillions, of colony-forming units of beneficial bacteria. That's hundreds of times more power than a standard cup of yogurt provides. Crucially, this isn't just one or two isolated strains, as found in many commercial supplements. Sauerkraut offers an entire microbial community, dozens of diverse species that have been working together in perfect symbiosis. Think of it this way. You're not just introducing a couple of new tenants to your gut. You're inviting a whole, well-organized, harmonious city that immediately gets to work cleaning house. This strain diversity is absolutely vital for building a healthy, resilient, and stable gut flora. So the next time you find yourself reaching for that expensive probiotic bottle, remember the humble cabbage. Chances are, the best solution is waiting for you right there in the grocery store's produce aisle. So, how exactly do these probiotics impact our gut health? Our gut is far more than just a tube for digesting food. It's a highly complex ecosystem, home to trillions of microorganisms collectively known as the microbiome. This microbiome influences virtually every process happening inside our body. The beneficial bacteria we get from foods like sauerkraut help maintain balance within this delicate ecosystem. They essentially crowd out pathogenic or harmful microorganisms, preventing them from multiplying. They also strengthen the intestinal walls, creating a powerful protective barrier and preventing the condition commonly known as leaky gut syndrome, which occurs when harmful substances enter the bloodstream. Furthermore, these bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, such as butyrate, which is the primary energy source for your colon cells and has potent anti-inflammatory effects. Ultimately, a healthy microbiome is the foundation for proper digestion, zero bloating, regular bowel movements, and, as we'll discuss later, a strong immune system. Sauerkraut is a true nutritional powerhouse, particularly when you are recovering after a course of antibiotics. Antibiotics are powerful tools against bacterial infections. Unfortunately, they often operate like a blunt instrument, or a carpet bomb, wiping out not just the harmful pathogens, but also the essential beneficial bacteria in our gut. This action frequently leads to a condition called dysbiosis, an imbalance that manifests as common digestive issues like diarrhea, bloating, and general abdominal discomfort. At this critical point, our microbiome needs urgent assistance, specifically a fresh infusion of friendly bacteria to quickly repopulate the gut. This is exactly where sauerkraut steps in as the perfect rehabilitation and recovery food. It delivers to the digestive system not only an enormous quantity of live probiotics, but also a wide diversity of bacterial strains, which is essential for quickly restoring lost balance. Furthermore, sauerkraut contains prebiotic fiber, the vital food source these new bacteria require, which helps them successfully colonize and begin to multiply. Consuming small, regular servings of naturally fermented sauerkraut after an antibiotic regimen can significantly accelerate microflora recovery and minimize those unpleasant side effects of the treatment. We all know that citrus fruits are the classic go-to for vitamin C. But get ready for a surprise. Sauerkraut might just give them a serious run for their money. The fermentation process doesn't just preserve the existing vitamin C content, it actually makes it more stable and highly bioavailable. The secret lies in the lactic acid produced during the culturing process, which acts as a fantastic preservative for ascorbic acid. This means that a 100-gram serving of sauerkraut can pack 20 to 30 milligrams of vitamin C, a level comparable to that found in many common oranges. Just think of Captain Cook's sailors. Sauerkraut was essential in preventing scurvy during long voyages. Vitamin C isn't only a powerful antioxidant that combats free radicals and slows down the aging process. It is absolutely critical for our immune system, stimulating the production of white blood cells, which are our body's frontline defenders against infection. Furthermore, it plays a vital role in synthesizing collagen, the essential building block for healthy skin, blood vessels, and joints. So, grabbing a forkful of sauerkraut is not only a delicious addition to your meal, but also a fantastic, natural way to boost your intake of this vital nutrient. Now, let's discuss a vitamin many people haven't even heard of, despite its absolutely crucial role in keeping us healthy. This is vitamin K2. Unlike vitamin K1, which we primarily get from green leafy vegetables, vitamin K2 is produced by bacteria. And guess where you find high concentrations of it? That's right, in fermented foods, especially sauerkraut. Fresh cabbage has almost none. It is synthesized specifically during the fermentation process. So, why is this vitamin so important? It's often called the calcium traffic controller of the body. It helps direct calcium where it needs to go, into the bones and teeth, making them strong. And at the same time, it removes calcium from places where it shouldn't be, namely, the walls of your arteries. Thus, vitamin K2 plays a dual role. It protects us from osteoporosis while simultaneously reducing the risk of atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disease. It truly is one of those unsung heroes, the deficiency of which can lead to serious health complications. And sauerkraut remains one of the best and most accessible food sources of this vital nutrient. The feeling of sluggishness after a meal, bloating, and general stomach discomfort. These are issues many of us know well. Sauerkraut can be an excellent aid in tackling these common problems. First, it is incredibly rich in enzymes, which are naturally formed during the fermentation process. These enzymes help our bodies break down food more effectively, especially proteins and fats, taking the pressure off your pancreas and the entire digestive system. Second, the probiotics, which we discuss so often, work to normalize gut function, improve intestinal motility, and help fight constipation. They create a healthy environment where food is digested correctly, without producing excessive or uncomfortable gas. Third, the cabbage itself is a potent source of fiber. This dietary fiber not only serves as food for beneficial gut bacteria, but it also acts like a gentle brush, cleansing the intestines and promoting regular bowel movements. Regularly incorporating sauerkraut into your diet can significantly enhance digestion, leave you feeling lighter after meals, and relieve many of the unpleasant symptoms related to gastrointestinal function. The phrase, "immunity is born in the gut," isn't just a catchy saying. It's a scientifically proven fact. Approximately 70 to 80% of all the immune cells in our body are concentrated right there in the digestive tract. This sophisticated system is known as GALT, gut-associated lymphoid tissue. GALT is in constant communication with the contents of the gut, analyzing everything that enters and deciding what is friend and what is foe. The health and balance of our gut microbiome directly influence how this complex system operates. The beneficial bacteria found in sauerkraut essentially train our immune cells. They teach the cells how to react correctly to threats, and importantly, how not to attack harmless substances, a crucial mechanism for preventing allergies and autoimmune diseases. These bacteria stimulate the production of antibodies and other protective factors right on the intestinal lining, establishing the first line of defense against viruses and pathogenic bacteria. By consuming sauerkraut, we aren't just enjoying a flavorful dish. We are directly supporting and fortifying the central headquarters of our immune system. Chronic inflammation is often called the silent killer, underlying many modern chronic diseases, including heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. Sauerkraut has powerful anti-inflammatory potential, achieved through several key mechanisms. First, as we know, the probiotics in sauerkraut produce butyrate and other beneficial short-chain fatty acids, SAFAs. These compounds exert powerful anti-inflammatory effects directly in the gut, which in turn helps reduce systemic inflammation throughout the entire body. Secondly, cabbage is a member of the powerful cruciferous vegetable family, which is rich in unique compounds called glucosinolates. During the process of chewing and digestion, these glucosinolates are converted into beneficial isothiocyanates, including the famous sulforaphane. These powerful antioxidant compounds activate the body's natural detoxification and anti-inflammatory pathways. Furthermore, the fermentation process may actually enhance the bioavailability of these beneficial compounds. Thus, sauerkraut tackles inflammation on multiple fronts, supporting the body's overall health right down to the cellular level. Have you ever noticed how often digestive troubles seem to come hand in hand with low mood, anxiety, or just general apathy? That's no coincidence. Our gut and brain are intimately connected through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. They are constantly communicating, exchanging information through nerve endings, hormones, and various signaling molecules. And the key player in this constant dialogue? Our microbiome. It's astonishing. Nearly 90% of serotonin, often dubbed the happiness hormone, is produced right there in your gut, thanks to the help of beneficial bacteria. A healthy, diverse microbiome ensures the adequate production of these vital neurotransmitters, which directly influence our mood, sleep quality, and stress resilience. This is where foods rich in probiotics, like sauerkraut, come in. The live cultures they contain can directly impact this chemical process. Research shows that regular consumption of fermented foods can significantly reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. They can also improve cognitive function and boost your overall resistance to stress. So, by prioritizing your gut health, you are simultaneously taking a proactive step toward better mental wellness. Can sauerkraut help you lose weight? The answer is yes, and there are several compelling reasons. First off, it's a genuinely low-calorie food. 100 grams of sauerkraut only contains around 20 calories, but it provides excellent satiety due to its high fiber content. This fiber slows down how quickly your stomach empties, which keeps you feeling full for longer and helps you avoid overeating. Secondly, the probiotics found in sauerkraut can directly impact your metabolism. Some research suggests that specific strains of bacteria, common in fermented foods, may reduce the absorption of dietary fats and affect appetite-regulating hormones, such as ghrelin. Thirdly, the improvements in gut function and the anti-inflammatory effects that sauerkraut offers are crucial factors for maintaining a healthy body weight. Of course, sauerkraut is not a magic weight loss solution, but it can be an excellent addition to a balanced diet and significantly help you achieve your weight management goals. The state of our skin is often a mirror of what's happening inside, especially within our gut. Issues like acne, eczema, rosacea, and psoriasis are increasingly linked to an imbalanced gut microbiome and increased intestinal permeability, often referred to as leaky gut. When the gut barrier is compromised, toxins and undigested food particles can enter the bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation. This inflammation then shows up on the skin as flare-ups, rashes, and irritation. This is where sauerkraut comes in, helping to solve the root problem from the inside out. The powerful probiotics found in sauerkraut help restore the integrity of the gut lining, reduce inflammation, and enable your body to flush out toxins more efficiently. Furthermore, the vitamin C and A content is vital for collagen synthesis and overall skin regeneration. By optimizing our gut health, we lay the foundation for truly clear, radiant, and healthy skin. So, before you spend a fortune on external creams and topical treatments, maybe it's time to start simple. Try incorporating just a spoonful of this highly effective superfood into your daily routine. Cancer prevention is always a sensitive topic, and it is crucial to discuss it cautiously, based strictly on scientific evidence. We cannot directly claim that sauerkraut cures cancer. However, numerous studies suggest its potential role in lowering the risk of developing certain types of malignancies. Firstly, as we already know, cabbage is a cruciferous vegetable containing sulforaphane and indoles. In lab settings, these compounds have demonstrated an ability to slow the growth of cancer cells and stimulate their self-destruction, known as apoptosis. Secondly, the fermentation process might amplify these beneficial properties. For instance, one Polish study indicated that women who regularly consumed high amounts of sauerkraut had a significantly lower risk of developing breast cancer. Furthermore, healthy gut microbiota and reduced chronic inflammation are universally recognized factors in cancer prevention, especially for colon cancer. To summarize, While sauerkraut is certainly not a magic bullet, incorporating it regularly into a healthy diet can be one component of a comprehensive strategy for minimizing oncological risks. Here's a crucial point. Not all sauerkraut you find on supermarket shelves offers the same health benefits. To get the full probiotic benefits, you have to choose a live product. The number one enemy of beneficial bacteria is pasteurization, the heat treatment used specifically to extend shelf life. Pasteurization kills absolutely all microorganisms, both the good ones and the bad ones. Therefore, when you're choosing sauerkraut, read the label carefully. Look for the words unpasteurized, raw, or live. This type of sauerkraut is usually sold in the refrigerated section, not sitting on regular unrefrigerated shelves. Its ingredients should only be cabbage, salt, and perhaps carrots or other spices. No vinegar, no sugar, and definitely no preservatives. The presence of vinegar is a sign that the cabbage was just pickled or marinated, not naturally fermented. Proper sauerkraut is a living fermented product that continues to live and breathe, even in the jar. It is the real source of those billions of beneficial bacteria. The most reliable way to get the healthiest and tastiest sauerkraut is simply to make it yourself. And don't worry, it is much easier than you think. You only need 3 ingredients: cabbage, salt, and a little bit of your time. The process is straightforward. Shred the cabbage, massage it thoroughly with salt until the natural brine starts to release. Pack it tightly into a jar or an enamel pot. Place a weight on top and let it sit at room temperature for several days. During this time, the lactic acid bacteria, which are already naturally present on the surface of the cabbage leaves, will do all the work for you. You'll be able to watch the fermentation process unfold, tiny bubbles appearing, accompanied by that characteristic sour aroma. Making fermented cabbage at home not only saves you money, but also gives you complete control over the entire process. You can be certain about the quality of your ingredients, regulate the salt level, and add your favorite flavorings like caraway seeds, cranberries, or even apples. It's an engaging and incredibly beneficial culinary experience that connects us directly to the traditions of our ancestors. So, we've established the tremendous benefits of sauerkraut. But does that mean you should be eating it by the pound? Absolutely not. As with any food, moderation is key here. Since sauerkraut is a highly concentrated source of probiotics and active compounds, you need to introduce it into your diet gradually. This is especially important if you haven't eaten many fermented foods before. Start with just 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon per day to allow your digestive system time to adjust. This will help you avoid potential issues like bloating or discomfort. Gradually, you can increase your intake to 2 or 3 tablespoons daily. This amount is generally sufficient to achieve a therapeutic effect and support long-term gut health. The best approach is to consume sauerkraut regularly, but in small portions. You can easily add it to salads, serve it as a side dish with meat, or simply enjoy it as a standalone snack. Always listen to your body. It truly is the best guide for determining your individual optimum serving size. Even with all its known benefits, sauerkraut can sometimes be inadvisable or even harmful. It is crucial to be aware of the potential contraindications. Firstly, the classic sauerkraut recipe often contains a fair amount of salt, which acts as the preservative. Therefore, people dealing with hypertension, kidney disease, or a predisposition to fluid retention should consume it cautiously, or ideally, seek out low-sodium recipes. Secondly, sauerkraut is rich in histamine, a compound that naturally develops during the fermentation process. While most people can break it down without issue, for individuals with histamine intolerance, eating sauerkraut can trigger allergy-like symptoms such as headaches, skin rashes, or a runny nose. Caution is also advised for people experiencing flare-ups of gastrointestinal issues, especially conditions like hyperacidity gastritis or peptic ulcers, as the organic acids present in sauerkraut can irritate the stomach lining. In all these aforementioned scenarios, it is best practice to consult with a doctor before introducing sauerkraut into your regular diet. One of the most pervasive myths we hear is that all store-bought sauerkraut is inherently beneficial. We briefly touched on this before, but let's take a closer look. This is a major misconception. The vast majority of sauerkraut sold in cans or jars, sitting on regular store shelves at room temperature, has been subjected to pasteurization or sterilization. While it still contains fiber and some vitamins, it is missing the single most crucial element: live probiotics. Any benefits for your gut microbiome are completely nullified. At that point, it's simply a preserved vegetable. Often vinegar and sugar are also added for flavor and extended shelf life, which further diminishes the overall health value. The true superfood status belongs only to raw, unpasteurized sauerkraut that is stored in the refrigerated section. So, don't let attractive packaging mislead you. Always check the ingredients list and verify the storage conditions. Only this live sauerkraut can deliver the incredible health benefits we're discussing in this video. Sauerkraut is much more than just a traditional Russian side dish served with potatoes. It's an internationally appreciated product, valued in cuisines all over the world. Take the famous Korean kimchi, for instance. It is essentially fermented cabbage as well, spiced up with chili peppers, garlic, ginger, and other seasonings. In Germany, sauerkraut is traditionally served with sausages and pork hock. In France, you have the Alsatian classic, Sauerkraut, which is cabbage stewed with various types of meat and sausage. Poland uses it to create the famous kapusniak soup and bigos, hunter's stew. This versatility proves that sauerkraut should be used for far more than just a cold appetizer. You can add it to soups, braise it with meat, put it in sandwiches and burgers instead of pickles, or use it as a base for salads. While heat treatment will eliminate the probiotics, the dietary fiber and unique flavor remain intact. It's a fantastic way to diversify your diet and introduce new, vibrant, and healthy notes to your meals. All right, let's wrap things up. Today we've discovered that humble sauerkraut is truly so much more than just a side dish. It's a genuine probiotic powerhouse, capable of restoring and maintaining excellent gut health. It's a robust source of vitamin C, which fortifies our immune system, and the often overlooked vitamin K2, essential for strong bones and healthy arteries. Sauerkraut supports healthy digestion, helps fight chronic inflammation, and may even boost your mood. And here's the best part. This incredibly potent superfood is accessible to absolutely everyone. It's affordable, simple to prepare at home, or easy to find in its raw, active form at the grocery store. Perhaps the secret to true, Lasting health lies simply in returning to these types of time-tested, basic ingredients. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I truly hope you found this information both new and highly useful. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content. Now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on sauerkraut? Do you love it? And if so, how often do you incorporate it into your diet? Share your favorite recipes or sauerkraut success stories in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to reading them.